Oh man, ya woman, oh man, ya mama, yenny baby, I call what ya warren. One some, one in pa, as I dip of you, Yamo Yambera, oh my, ya woman, oh my, mama.
So we shall take questions, and like I said, restricted to the Ghana-Burkina interconnectivity project, and the other minister will answer.
My name is I represent Kenya. And as the minister already indicated, the standard gauge has come to replace the intergauge as we usually know. That's now also. My question is, I'm just using the Tanzania example to ask my question. You did mention that about 800 kilometers spread from the Tema port to Paga, which in the Tanzania example, a kilometerage of 300 is costing $1.2 billion for construction, which they are also trying to link up with the neighboring countries like Uganda, Rwanda, billion others. But in our case, 800 kilometers from the port city to that of Paga, how much is going to cost in construction? And again, from Paga to Ouagadougou, how much is going to be involved? And if so, is it going to be 50-50 between the government of Ghana and that of Burkina Faso, or Ghana will care the overall cost from the construction of the road linking Ouagadougou? Thank you.
Thank you very much. And the next question, Honourable Minister, cost and sharing formula of the cost. The gentleman at the back.
The minister said that every year is the 2020, we are going to see the roadway as part of the 800 kilometer stretch. I just want to know if this is just the Tema in Pakadan or it is part of the Paga railway, just for clarification, and how much that bit is costing us. Thank you.
The cost part has been asked already, but the timeline.
Thank you, Honourable Minister. I also want to find out, Honourable Minister, I want to do the breakdown. How much is going to compensation, resettlement, land acquisition of those things? Can you break down those figures for us to know that this much is going to compensation, land acquisition, resettlement, and what not? Thank you.
Thank you very much. The first person who asked me a question was looking at the Tanzania example. I wanted to know, having regard to the Tanzania example, wanted to know the cost of our project. If you recollect, I said that asking about the cost of railway is like asking in generally about the cost of a car. It depends on what car you want to buy. And I also said that so far, we have been negotiating all our railway projects below $6 million. As far as per kilometer, sorry. As far as the present line is concerned, it averages to about 4-point-something kilometers per million per kilometer. I say 4-point-something because we've done a variation to go over the river, but we are looking at doing further variations. Even for the stretch that goes from Tema to Senchi, there's no station at Akusi. The original design did not include a station at Akusi. How can you go from Tema to Senchi without a station at Akusi? Akusi is a major junction, not just for the Akusi town, but also for the entire Somalia Krobo area. They can come to that junction. There's no station at Senchi, because when it was envisaged in the beginning, Senchi, it wasn't going to go the way it's going. It was going to go straight to Akosombo. After the river, there must be about 3, 4, 5 stations there. As we speak now, those stations too are under consideration and the design. When you have a station, immediately takes the cost up. It's just not the cost of the station. When you go to Accra station, you see that there are several lines. When you reach a station, you multiply the lines because the train will park, and the train will turn around, what they call shunting and so on. And so you multiply the lines. And so that's why I say it is 4 point something, because we are very much work in progress, and we seek to add on these things. We are getting proposals from Ghana Railway Development Authority, then we will take it to finance, then we'll take it to cabinet, and then we'll add on these things. But so far, it is 4 point something, and I want to keep it between 4 point something. Then the gentleman asked what percentage of work has been done. I will seek to answer that question, and I also request that after this set of questions, a 3-minute film is shown, which shows an interview which we did with the chief engineer of AFCONS, which will answer these questions. They started laying the track already, and in the Shai Osudoku area, they've laid the track. They tell me that by the end of this year, they would have laid about 60% of the track. My worry was the bridge over the Volta, because it wasn't part of the Tema-Akosombo project. I mean, when you are going to Akosombo, you don't cross over the Volta, you don't enter the Volta region. So once we had added a bridge over Volta, it was my fear that it will increase the time and so on, that the project will be delivered. I'm assured by Ghana Railway Development Authority team, who are the consultants, as well as the contractors, that it will not, as it were, disturb the project. And don't worry too much about percentages, because my experience with the contractors that are building is that they build in different ways. Some will finish the entire formation before they start laying the track. So when you see their work, you will think that they haven't done anything. But they finish the entire formation, and once they start laying the track, they can put a track laying machine on it, and they can lay over 1 kilometer a day. Some will lay as they go along. I noticed that AFCON is laying as it is going along. I'm happy about that. At least we see something being done. Because you have to finish a certain level of, a certain kilometerage of formation before it makes economic sense for you to start laying the track. Because when you lay the track, you are using machines and you engage more people. So they're about 60% through. From what I've seen so far, I'm confident that they can finish. And the last question, a gentleman asked me about compensation. How much of it is to do with compensation and so on and so forth. Like all other areas, we estimate an amount for compensation. Rule of thumb, maximum 10% of the cost of a project, sometimes even less. When we estimate the amount, it's an estimate. Because unless you've gone onto the ground, you cannot tell for sure how much compensation you have to pay. And also don't forget that we don't value the property. The valuation is done by Lands Commission. What we do is that we make an amount available in the budget of the district. And we sometimes we don't want to make it too public, because it's like if you are going to buy something from somebody and you tell him beforehand the budget you have to buy the thing. If you are not careful, that's the price you sell the thing to you at. So sometimes in the interest of the people of Ghana, we don't want to say the exact amount we have to pay compensation, because I'm sure some of the people who are looking for compensation are listening with rapt attention. If I mention a figure, they say, hey, the people, they have money, we have to take it up. So the compensation is in the budget. The valuation is by the Ministry of Grants and Natural Resources and its agencies, and we are prepared to pay compensation where compensation is due. If you are a trespasser, I beg. If you are a trespasser, I regret to say that compensation may not be due. Now, before I answer the next raft of questions, I will plead with the gentlemen who are controlling, or the ladies who are controlling the electronic setup, to play a 3-minute video, which is an interview that we had with AFCONS. AFCONS are the engineers, and to assist us to answer further questions. We have the map, the master plan. Then maybe I will be able to, it will help my friend from Joy FM. Now, when you look at the master plan, the green line on your right is the line that is going to Burkina Faso. The Ghana-Burkina Interconnectivity Project, not the ... which is from Ho to Keta. And we have the line from Ho to Keta is going to be done, but that is not the Ghana Burkina Interconnectivity. The bright green line, it starts from Tema. There, it is written Akosombo because it was done in 2013. Now it doesn't go to Akosombo any longer. It goes to Ipakadan, and then it continues to Yendi. This is the 2013 master plan. Now let me tell you something. We are doing a master plan which will come out by the end of this year or early next year. And in that master plan, there are a few changes from this. And in that master plan, when it goes to Yendi, right goes to Sheni, and left goes to Tamale. The thing about the question you asked was that you can see from this map that the 100 kilometers we are doing is part of the Ghana-Burkina Interconnectivity Project. When it reaches Ogoli, where we were yesterday, it will go upwards to Dwapong. It will cross the main road at Dwapong, the road from Adomi to Ho, it will cross it at Dwapong. Then it will go in a curvature manner to the water, to Ipakadan, so as to give us the opportunity, if we so desire, now or in the future, to carry some of the cargo by water. We are giving the people of Ghana opportunities. It will go to the water and carry it up north, but it will take off from Dwapong towards Hohoe, Jasikan, Nkwanta, Bembela, Yendi, Sheni. So the 100 kilometers is part of the 800 kilometer line. And am I sure we'll finish it in August? I'm as sure as the consultants and the engineers tell me. That's my level of comfort. And they haven't disappointed me so far. I think that we are ready now to show we are not ready yet. So I think that basically we are fortunate that we have been able to redesign the Ghana-Burkina project so as to have started, so to speak, killing two birds with one stone. And I think that very, very soon, in August, you will see that we have reached Dwapong. But before we reach Dwapong, in order not to have a break in the execution of the project, it is our prayer that before we reach Dwapong, or before August, we would have chosen the contractor which will continue up north. Somebody asked an interesting question I haven't answered. He said, is the cost going to be 50-50? I remember the 50-50 question was asked. If I can answer that question, first of all, I must say that, as I said, 800 kilometers is in Ghana, 200 kilometers is in Burkina Faso. The Burkina government must be congratulated, because even though 800 kilometers is in Ghana and 200 kilometers is in Burkina Faso, they decided that they would take 50% of all the costs that lead to the actual execution of the project. That 50% of the cost is cost relating to the feasibility study, cost relating to the choosing of the contractor, any cost that occurs before we commence building. The Burkina Faso government decided that in the spirit of brotherhood, not looking at the percentage of works in one country or another country, they want to contribute 50% to show their commitment. If they have said that we should contribute 80 and they will contribute 20, it will make sense. Now, because of that, we have also been acting as equals, but we know that 800 kilometers will be in Ghana, 200 kilometers will be in Burkina. The method that we have chosen to develop this line is by looking for a strategic investor who will join Ghana and Burkina and operate on a BOT basis. Already we have done 100 kilometers out of the 700, and we are in the process of working out all the legal arrangements as to control and so on and so forth. And you know, luckily for us, we are not. It's not a new thing. As was pointed out in cabinet, and as I myself am aware, there are examples. That's why I gave you the Lagos Abidjan corridor example. That one is ruled by a committee of ministers, so to speak. There's also the example of the West African gas pipeline. There's a whole law that governs the West African gas pipeline. We have signed a treaty between us and Burkina, and we are continuing to look at the legal arrangements that will regulate our relationship going forward. The thing about it is that because we are bringing in a strategic investor, that strategic investor, his proposals, if acceptable to us, will be part of the process by which the two governments will agree in order to take the project forward. But let me say that our position in Ghana at present is that even if it's BOT, we will not give 100% to the investor. And that is why, for example, if you take 100% of our project, which is the 800 kilometers, we have already constructed 1/8. Of course, you have to put a value on the land as well. I mean, land is not free. And so when you put all these valuations together, you will see that we will end up in Ghana getting quite a percentage of the project. Burkina Faso to have their percentage. And so it's still very much work in progress. And because of the level of trust and cooperation between the countries, we are building, as we are discussing, as we are looking at the legal framework, and we are working simultaneously at the same time. If we didn't trust each other, we will say that let's agree before we do anything. But because of the spirit of cooperation, we are multitasking. We are doing the legal and institutional framework. That's why we've done the treaty. We have a committee which is looking at it. We are doing the technical work. That's why we have feasibility and so on. We are doing the procurement at the same time in order to marry these three things. Otherwise, if you joke with these things, it will take you 10 years. You only have started. Think about it. Tema Tuako Zombo was conceptualized in 2007. 2017, we hadn't started building. 10 years later. Conceptualized in 2007, they went through a procurement to choose the people. After that, they started feasibility. There's inception report, pre-inception report. The consultants are good. I mean, they are always meeting with you, and they have all kinds of different reports, alignment report. And by the time they finish all these reports, 3 years is passed. Then you have to go through the process of choosing a contractor. Another 2 years has passed. Then you do the legal framework. Another 2 years has passed. So if you are not cooperating to do things at the same time, you'll get into trouble. Please, if you can show the video.
Rail News, transforming the railways, transforming Ghana.
Hello, welcome to Rail News. I'm Nakwa reporting. Today we're looking at the Temam-Pankadan project. It's approximately a 100-kilometer rail project, and it's being constructed by Afcons of India. The project starts from Tema all the way, and it will cross over the Volta Lake. We are at the construction site here, close to the Volta Lake. I'll be talking to UV. He's the general manager of Afcons. Thank you very much, and welcome to Rail News.
Thank you.
So how far are you going with the project?
Project, you see, we are working right from beginning till end at Pakadam. Even the rail-head facility Pakadam also, their excavation and earthwork is in progress. This is the only major structure, you can say, the biggest structure which will come on this line. This is a 300-meter long bridge across Volta. It will have 5 spans, 60 meter each. So out of total 6 foundations, 4 foundations are in water. Here the deep water is there. The standing water depth is about almost 25 to 30 meter, and then there is a deposition of silt to the tune of 10-15 meter. So what foundation we are using is the pile foundation. Generally you have seen the pile basically vertically going down. But here we are having piles on some inclination. They are known as the racker piles. So racker piles will be used here, and the deepest pile which we will put in the water, its length is about 70 meter. So entire work on this water will be taken up through a barge. All machineries, cranes will be loaded on the barge and will be floated in the Volta. Fabrication is going on other end. Its length is about 60 meter, and probably by 15th of November it will be ready to sail in Volta. By the time we taken up the foundation at the ground level, that is 2 abutments which are coming on ground. Right now we are standing on abutment 2, we call it A2. It will have 6 piles. So 1 pile boring is already completed, probably.
Which is what we're seeing now?
This is a basically machine, it is known as RCD. This machine is, total its weight is about 40 ton and it is being utilized for doing the boring. And this pile which you are seeing is, its length is about 18 meter, out of which 8 meter is in the soft soil and 10 meter it is anchored in the hard rock below. This boring portion is already completed. Now we are making the reinforcement cage ready for this, which will be lowered in this, and then the concreting will be done. So here total 6 piles will be there. Similarly on other side of abutment, that is A1, which you can see right across where you see the palm tree.
Right.
There will be the second abutment will come, 6 piles will be there. And these 2 putting together is 12 piles, and remaining piles of 4 span will come in the water body. So this activity, basically piling in Volta, in water body itself, will start somewhere mid of December. Before that we want to finish up the foundations and pile at the ground level. Total bridges, small, big, everything if you put together, they are 161 in number. It includes waterways, road crossings, underpass, overpass. But the biggest structure is this one. If totally as a project, if you see as on date, maybe around 1200 people are working as on date. Out of which people from Ghana is to the tune of something between 850 to 900. And about 200 and 220 people are from India. We started laying track here. Initially we were having apprehensions that because it is a new industry here, because we put up a concrete sleeper plant also. All concrete sleeper we are manufacturing here. And track activity was a new, so we were having apprehension whether we will get enough manpower support locally available to take up these jobs, and or we have to bring the people from outside. But it's really a matter of pride and pleasure for me.
Thank you very much, distinguished ladies and gentlemen of the media. We are grateful to the Chief Director and staff of the Ministry of Railways Development and your allied agencies. The 2 Deputy Ministers of Railway Development are here. My brother and friend, the Honorable Member of Parliament, and the Honorable Andy Apiakubi has also joined us. We are grateful to him as well. We are grateful to my colleague, Kwekua Jenimboating, and of course the Honorable Minister for the sector, Honorable Joe Garte. We will wind down at this time so that we can still make the 12 o'clock news cycle. It's about 20 minutes to 12. We thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for your attention. The exhibition is outside. We invite you to come and see the pictures. Graphic presentation of work that has happened so far. We thank you for coming.